Alright guys, and welcome back to the Saints View, the channel for Southampton content for day number 24 of our family calendar, meaning it is Christmas Eve. Hope you all have great Christmases tomorrow, get what you wanted, and also congratulations to our competition winner. They have won a Southampton kit. They know who they are as well, they've been messaged already, but yeah, congratulations to them. Thank you if you did participate in the giveaway, you've supported the channel, and that is the main thing anyway. In this video we're going to be looking ahead to our Boxing Day trip to Stamford Bridge as we face Chelsea for a second time this season, but because it's Christmas tomorrow we're combining the match preview and the predicted lineup aspects of our usual matchday content together in this one video, as you can tell by the thumbnail and title, basically meaning that I don't have to edit and upload and you don't have to watch a video over Christmas. But before we get into the video, do make sure you are subscribed, you're following us on our socials. Right, let's get into the video. Of course, as always, we've got to look back to Southampton's last game. Oh, what a win that was. 3-1 against Aston Villa at Villa Park. Very comfortable display in the end. Villa didn't really do much. Scored a great goal through Grealish, the best of the afternoon by far. But they didn't really trouble McCarthy. I think he made one decent save and then that was pretty much it. You know, I would worry for Villa based on what I saw, but I thought we controlled the game fantastically well. Looked positive, looked comfortable, we were on the front foot. We didn't have as much possession as they did, but you know, we were dominant with the ball. We used the ball better and also kind of clinical to an extent. I can't really think of too many chances that we had bar the 3 goals that we scored. So massive credit to Saints, spot on with the team lineup from Hasenhüttl, and hopefully we can go into the Chelsea game with the same sort of Christmas spirit, I guess. But it also means we're 3 points clear of the relegation zone. However, because there are so many games coming up, that doesn't really mean much at the moment. It keeps us sort of kind of comfortable, but not really, because Villa are the nearest side to us and they have Norwich and Watford in their next 2 games. Really, they need to be looking at getting 6 points from those if they want to stay up, because those are the other 2 sides in the bottom 3. Meaning that if we want to stay out the relegation zone past Boxing Day, we have to pick up at least a point against Chelsea, assuming that Aston Villa beat Norwich on Boxing Day at home, which really they should. But it also means we now have to face the hectic Christmas schedule that we get in the Premier League every single year. It's 3 games in 7 days. 2 of those sides are top 6 opposition, so it's going to be tough. We sort of need to manage that well. Personally, I'd be tempted to rest a couple of key players against Chelsea. I think we've got a much better chance of picking up points against Palace and arguably the Spurs game on New Year's Day. Maybe that's something to talk about in the comment section below. Would you rest any of our key players? Personally, I would, and we'll get into that in the predicted lineup and what I think Hasenhüttl is going to put out in terms of a starting lineup against Chelsea on Thursday. And also the Palace game is literally 2 days after Boxing Day. We've got 1 day of recovery and then we're back at St Mary's playing, which is worrying because we've got literally no time to rest at all, meaning that we are going to have to make rotations. But we are playing on Amazon, which so far we've got a 100% win record whilst when our games are shown on there. So can that record be maintained on Boxing Day? But on to Chelsea. It's round 2 of the Southampton versus Chelsea fixture. They absolutely battered us at St Mary's back in October. 4-1 win for them, very comfortable. We didn't look like we were going to score at all. How we scored was sort of beyond me, and they were incredibly dominant. Now, we don't want that on Thursday, and to be fair, our performances at Stamford Bridge compared to what we've performed or how we've performed at St Mary's against Chelsea over the last couple of years has been a lot better. We haven't won there for a while. We haven't beaten Chelsea since our 3-1 win there when Palace scored, what was it, 2015 that was, under Ronald Koeman, meaning that if history sort of continues, we're not going to pick up a win. But we did get a point there last year. Really good defensive display. That's the sort of performance I want to see again. You know, keeping it tight, keeping them to limited chances, and then who knows, we may get a chance, put it away, and we somehow win the game. But I said it in the preview that I did for the game back in October, and it's still the same. They've exceeded my expectations. Frank Lampard has actually got them playing some decent stuff. However, they're starting to experience a downfall in form. They're starting to lose matches, which they weren't really used to at the beginning of this season, but they've only won 2 of their last 6 in the league, which is concerning. One of those 2 victories was on Sunday when they beat their rivals Tottenham 2-0 away from home. Willian scored a brace, pretty dominant performance it seemed. But they have recorded 2 1-0 home defeats recently against lesser opposition in West Ham and Bournemouth. They came either side of a 2-1 home win against Aston Villa, so who knows what sort of Chelsea are going to show up. But the recent slump hasn't really affected their league position anyway. I mean, they've gone down to 4th, they were in 3rd, but they're still in the top 4, and they've got a gap on 5th, so it's still kind of comfortable for them. You know, I like a lot of their players. I've said this in my preview before. Abraham, I think, is great. He's level on goals with Danny Ings. They're both joint 2nd top goal scorer in the Premier League with 11 goals each. Tomori's an up-and-coming defender. Pulisic looks good. He's starting to score goals. I've always liked Willian as well, so yeah, it's going to be a tough afternoon. But hopefully there'll be some sort of Christmas spirit and Saints can come away with something. Moving on to the predicted lineup though. Now I'm doing this before the press conference, so I'm not sure what the situation is in terms of injuries. But this is my best guess. He could go for a back 5, but just to make it a bit easier, I'm going to stick with the 4-2-2 that we've been playing recently. Yeah, this is how I think we're going to line up against Chelsea. In goal, I think it's going to be Alex McCarthy. No reason to drop him. He was good at Villa, possibly his best performance in the league of the season. Very comfortable, caught every single cross that came his way. Yeah, unlucky to concede, I think. It was a good goal, but really his efforts deserve the clean sheet. At right back, I think we could see the return of Kevin Danzo. Now, Cedric's been playing a lot recently. Valerie's not going to be back till the new year, so potentially we could see Danzo come in. Now, he's played him at right back before and left back. Hasn't really worked, but at the moment we're a bit short on options if Valerie's going to stay out. Cedric's been pretty poor recently, to say the least. So I'd be quite tempted, if I was Ralph, to give Danzo a go. At centre-back, I'd go for a pairing of Stevens and Yoshida. I do think at least one of either Bednarek or Stevens will be dropped and the other will stay in. I think Stevens will stay because he's been our best defender and we need our best defender against a side like Chelsea. Now, obviously, is that good? You never know with Stevens. But with Yoshida alongside him, they've played together before. Yoshida adds that little bit of experience and leadership. Hopefully it works. And then at left back, I think it's going to be Ryan Bertrand. Again, he's someone I'd probably look to rest ahead of the Palace game, but it doesn't seem like Jake Vokins is going to come in anytime soon. So I think it's probably just going to be Bertrand, to be honest. We've got no backup. Matt Targett was sold. Something I'm not quite happy about at the moment, to be honest with you. But Bertrand's been great. As long as he's staying fit, then I'm happy to see him in the side. The midfield pairing, I think it's going to be Ward-Prowse and Romeu. Højbjerg has been playing a lot of football. Looks a bit tired, could do with a rest. As for Ward-Prowse, he's always going to be in there. He's one of our fittest players, so he's going to be always starting, I think, especially when we've got this run of games. I think he's always going to be in there. Romeu's a good replacement for Højbjerg, you know, defensive-minded, not afraid to put in a tackle. Very, very good in the game away at Chelsea last season. Could he replicate that sort of performance and get us a point? Hopefully. But I have to say, I've been impressed with Ward-Prowse recently. The start to his season was just shambolic, but he's started to pick up a bit of form and I'm happy for him. In front of the two midfielders, I think it's going to be Boufal and Redmond. Redmond, like Ward-Prowse, is one of our fitter players, so will most likely be in there. As for Boufal, didn't get any minutes against Villa but was on the bench. Hopefully he's recovered from his toe injury and is fit for a start. Gineppo could come in, but it sounded like he wasn't really quite there. Sort of, they said he'd be back for Boxing Day, but I'd be tempted to rest him a further few days just to make sure he's really sharp for the Palace game on Saturday. Then the striker partnership up front, I think it's going to be Ings and Shea Adams. Adams deserves a start. We need to rotate. Long's not fit enough to play 2 games in, 5-6 days. As for Ings, I think personally I'll be resting him for the Palace game, but I think because he's our best player, Ralph will like to have him in there. So on to my prediction. I think it completely depends on the side that starts, but you know what, they've not been great recently, so I'm going to go with a very, very optimistic 1-1. I mean, if we're not on form and they play well, they're going to beat us by about 3 goals. But there's something, I think we could give them a game and maybe come away with something. But thank you very much for watching the video, guys. If you have enjoyed it, leave a like. Thank you so much for your support during the Family Calendar series. It's been massively appreciated. 24 consecutive days of uploading. That's hard to do, so I'm going to enjoy my little rest. Let us know down below what your score predictions for the Chelsea game are. Have a great Christmas. Have a great Christmas and see you soon.